Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to turn that pile of research and your questions into something clear, something useful.
Exactly.
And if you're passionate about the American Pit Bull Terrier, you already know how loyal, how incredible these dogs are.
Oh, absolutely.
But, how much do we really understand about what makes a high-quality APBT or what a real bloodline even means?
That's the core question, isn't it?
It is. So today, that's exactly what we're diving deep into for you.
Good.
Our goal here is to, cut through some of the confusion, maybe bust a few myths. We're distilling the key stuff from the source you shared, Amy Greenwood Dudar's Breeders, Bloodlines, and the Pit Bull Standard.
A really insightful piece.
Definitely. And by the end, you'll walk away with a much clearer picture, packed with practical insights, perfect if you're really invested in APBTs.
You'll gain a real appreciation for the work involved.
You really will. Okay, so let's unpack this term bloodline. It's funny how it pops up everywhere and just like everyday talk, isn't it?
It really is. Beyond the dog world entirely.
Yeah, the source gives some great examples, like a young mom saying her premature baby is feisty because it's in her bloodline.
Right, or that rap star calling his wife my bloodline.
Exactly. And even Bloodline Records, the music company, it just shows how deep this idea runs in our culture.
It does, and it sets up a contrast, really, between that popular, maybe almost metaphorical use and the technical meaning in dog breeding.
So what is the technical definition of a breeder then, according to the source?
Well, technically speaking, for registration and all that, the breeder is the owner of the dam, the mother dog.
Okay, so the person who owns the female.
Right, because they're the one making the decision, okay, this female is worthy, she meets the standard, and then they actively look for the right stud dog.
That makes sense. They initiate the process.
Exactly. Now, there's a little exception mentioned, about 10% of the time, maybe.
Uh-huh.
The owner of the sire, the stud dog, might be listed as the breeder when the litter's registered. But the source says that's usually just something the two owners work out between themselves.
Gotcha. So it's an arrangement, not the default rule. But moving beyond just registration, what does it take to be seen as a real APBT breeder? Someone who's, actually creating a bloodline. That sounds like a whole different level of commitment.
Oh, it's vastly different, a huge commitment. And to really get what that means, what establishing a quality bloodline involves, we kind of have to look back historically.
Right. Learn from the masters, so to speak.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And one name that always comes up as a top example is Howard Heinzl. His Heinzl bloodline is legendary.
Heinzl. Okay. What made his line so special?
Well, it wasn't accidental. He built it very deliberately on three really solid, well-known lines from that time: Corvino, Tudor, and Colby.
So he started with quality stock.
Absolutely essential. But it was his method, his rigor that stood out. He set a clear standard, a goal for every single breeding.
A standard, okay, like a blueprint.
Kind of, yeah. And here's the key part. Only the puppies that actually met that standard were kept for his future breeding program.
Wow. That sounds strict.
It was. No guesswork. He studied pedigrees intensely, investigated the individual dogs he was using. He knew his genetics, really understood the principles.
So real science involved.
Definitely. And he didn't work in a vacuum. He talked to other dog breeders, sure, but also horse breeders, other livestock people. Always learning.
Expanding his knowledge base.
Exactly. And get this, he kept a written plan for future breedings. Always focused on that standard.
A written plan, that's serious dedication.
It really is. And he wasn't afraid to use different breeding strategies: line breeding, inbreeding, outcrossing strategically, using those three quality foundation lines. It was a very calculated long-term approach.
That level of meticulousness is, frankly, astounding. Did the source mention, the challenges? Was it hard sticking to that standard, but he faced some pushback?
The source really highlights that his unwavering commitment was the key. He had to make tough calls, placing potentially nice pups in pet homes if they didn't quite hit his specific mark for breeding stock.
Ooh, hard decisions.
But the payoff was consistency. People knew what to expect from a Heinzl dog. Beautiful athletic build, soundness, health.
So physical traits.
Right, and those distinct heads, strong teeth. But also performance wrestling ability, being long-winded, that incredible endurance.
Wow. So it wasn't just looks.
Not at all. After years and years of selecting like this, his family of dogs just consistently produced those traits. They bred true. That's a bloodline.
Dogs breeding true for the traits the breeder aims for. Got it. So Heinzl sets this incredible example, but there's always a flip side, isn't there?
Unfortunately, yes. The source points this out too. Just as you can breed for desirable traits, you can, sadly, end up with lines known for breeding true for undesirable things.
Like what?
Things like excessive shyness, maybe structural faults, chronic health problems. It really drives home the responsibility involved.
Absolutely. So let's synthesize this. What are the big takeaways from Heinzl for someone today wanting to build a quality APBT line?
Okay, yeah. Based on the Heinzl example and the sources analysis, it kind of boils down to four main pillars, you could say.
All right, pillar one.
First, define your standard. A bloodline means dogs breeding true for traits you set. And that standard has to start with breed type. You know, the physical stuff reflecting history, purpose. What makes an APBT an APBT?
Temperament, proportions, soundness, health.
Exactly. All of it. That's foundational.
Pillar two.
Start with quality dogs. Research is non-negotiable. Dig into those pedigrees. Understand the traits back there, how they were developed, line breeding, inbreeding, outcross.
Know the history of the ingredients.
Precisely. Like Heinzl did, maybe start with 2 or 3 really outstanding lines as your base.
Makes sense? Third pillar.
Understand genetics and breeding methods. Seriously. Know the science behind line breeding, inbreeding, outcrossing, the pros, the cons. It's not just pairing 2 dogs you like.
Gotta know the tools and how to use them.
Yeah, and pillar 4. Records. Accurate records. Of breedings. Of pups produced. This builds reliable pedigrees.
And following up on the pups.
Crucial. You have to evaluate them later to see what actually worked. And if a pup doesn't meet your standard for breeding, spay or neuter, find a great pet home.
Protect the integrity of your line, your name.
Exactly. Don't let substandard dogs carrying your kennel name muddy up all your hard work.
That's a really solid framework. But it leads to another question. We've talked about the breeders program defining the bloodline. What about those really famous individual dogs? Can a bloodline center on just one dog?
That's a fantastic point, and yes, the source addresses this. A bloodline can be based around a specific, influential stud dog or brood bitch.
Okay, how does that work?
It happens when that one dog has such incredible genetic potency, such quality, that a huge percentage of its offspring consistently show those same great traits, almost no matter what they're bred to.
Like a genetic powerhouse.
Pretty much. The source uses Crenshaw's Champion Honey Bunch as a prime example. She came from Carver and Boudreaux lines.
Honey Bunch. Oh, her.
Her genetic quality was apparently off the charts. She was bred to 5 different stud dogs.
5 different ones. Wow.
And produced top-tier dogs from every single litter. The source literally says, there was no wrong way to breed this bitch. She just clicked with everyone.
That's incredible consistency from her side.
It really is. And one of her sons, maybe you've heard of him, Crenshaw's Champion Jeep.
Vaguely rings a bell, yeah.
He's often credited as being one of the greatest producers in modern times. Some fanciers will definitely say Jeep established his own distinct bloodline.
Ah, okay. So is he his own line, or is he from the Honey Bunch line? Or is it about the cross?
And that's the fascinating nuance. Is Jeep his own line? Is he an extension of Honey Bunch's influence? Or do you define him by the specific mix, like 25% Carver, 25% Boudreaux, 50% Lepose, depending on the sire?
Right. Depends how far back you look or who gets the credit.
Exactly. It shows how interconnected these things are and how one truly exceptional animal can leave such a massive, lasting footprint.
Which loops right back to why those meticulous records, breedings, pups, pedigrees are so absolutely vital.
Couldn't agree more. Without them, you're just guessing. It becomes a crapshoot, as the source puts it, not strategic breeding based on probabilities.
Yeah, not leveraging genetics like Heinzl did.
And frankly, if someone brushes off record keeping or says, someone else messed up back there, so it doesn't matter what I do.
Red flag.
Big time. It tells you pretty quickly about their real level of commitment to their own program and, honestly, to the breed's future. Why spend decades and dollars if you aren't ensuring consistency down the line?
Absolutely. It's become crystal clear through this deep dive that being a breeder of truly high-quality APBTs, establishing a bloodline you can be proud of, well, it's no small thing.
Not at all. It's vastly more than just, as the source says, putting a few litters on the ground.
It's a monumental undertaking, so we really have to acknowledge the dedication of past breeders like Heinzl and those today who are still putting in that incredible work.
Hear, hear. They're producing the finest dogs for the future, preserving the best of the breed. Their commitment is everything.
It truly is. We've gone from just the everyday idea of bloodline to the intense dedication of someone like Heinzl and seen the huge impact of dogs like Honey Bunch. It's quite a journey.
It is. And the core message, really, is that quality comes from deep knowledge, high standards, unwavering commitment, and crucially, keeping track of it all. Accurate records matter.
They absolutely do. So here's something to maybe chew on after listening today.
Okay.
Thinking about the sheer effort, the research, the tough choices involved in building a quality line like Heinzl's or stemming from a dog like Honey Bunch, what does that make you consider about the responsibility that breeders have now and in the future? And maybe even your own role, just as a fancier, in supporting the integrity and the health of this amazing breed, the American Pit Bull Terrier?
That's a powerful thought to end on.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating, complex world of APBT breeders and bloodlines. We hope you found it valuable.